So today's topic, I'm going to take up is about non-profit cloud, and in this, I'm going to discuss about non-profit success pack in Salesforce. So basically, non-profit success pack is shortly known as NPSP, and which is formerly known as non-profit starter pack. The non-profit starter pack was introduced in the year 2014 by some of the Trailblazer community members. So it's basically an app like sales app or a service app on the Salesforce platform. So its basic functionality is that it allows non-profits to manage their day-to-day activities without any hassle. So and NPSP can be used at both in Classic and Lightning as well. So is it for me? Yes, it's primarily for admins. So why do you use NPSP and non-profit success pack? So basically, it's a package which we can use to organize a non-profit organization or help it to do its day-to-day activities with a better planning and better control. So it will be also helpful in tracking or maintaining a set of perfect relationships between contacts who are the donors and who are the organizers, etc. and all. So there are four primary objects in NPSP, which are contacts, accounts, affiliation, relationships. Leads is nothing but we is the common one which we come across in Sales Cloud. So there is nothing much difference between the leads which is in NPSP and the leads which we use in Sales app. So coming to the contact object, it's just not a contact in NPSP. It's basically it is referring to a person who can be a volunteer for a non-profit organization, who can be a donor for a non-profit organization, or who can be an organizer or like a fund who organizes the campaigns for non-profit organizations for fundraising. So next comes the account object. So here account role is same as in the sales app, where we have two different types of record pages. One is person account and the other one is business account in sales app. Here we have households and organizations. One is households record type and the other one is organizations record type. So depending upon the person or the type of account we use this households or organizations. So to differentiate, let me give you an example. Household is like any one of you can be a donor. Like if I donate some amount or something to a non-profit organization, I can be a donor and my account will be created in the household record type. For organizations like so you are I mean we all know that Bill Gates runs a non-profit organization. So those kinds of those kind of organizations can be.
So what is NPSP? Whatever Rupesh said is correct, but in another words, or in my words, NPSP is the product of Salesforce.org, right? Salesforce.org is the sister concern of it. It's like a sister concern of Salesforce.com. Salesforce.org is doing great by serving a lot of non-profits around the world, and also Salesforce has some, what is that called? They signed up with I didn't remember those terminologies, but it's like they're helping with the climate change activities. They're helping with a lot of orphans in San Francisco and around, and also Salesforce is doing so many things. So they have asked Salesforce.org to take care of all those things. At the same time, they have come up with a product called NPSP, which is very economical when compared to the actual license of the Salesforce. If the license of the Salesforce is $150, they are charging only $35 something like that. Maybe $300 to $75, something like that. They are giving 70%, 75% of the discount in the actual license cost. So that's their main agenda.
Some of them are free, right, to start with?
Yeah, there are 10 free, 10 free licenses.
Yes, I'm coming to that. So then they went to all the non-profits and they came up with few products. Like initially they did NPSP for non-profits like charities. Then they did non-profit for education, right, Rupesh? And philanthropy. They came up with philanthropy cloud as well.
Yes.
Yeah, etc. So here, what this slide explains is the account information, right? So generally, we know that account information is the business information, but here the account information is donors information, right? So they mainly use this for campaigning purpose, donation campaign, and the activities. Like they also run the campaigns for volunteers also, right, Rupesh?
Yes.
Yeah. So this slide explains like what is main thing in the account. So donors and the member details and their activity when they donated, how much they donated. We can track the activity, and also we can automate it. Like we can wish them on their birthday, and we will also understand that if every year on so and so date, if a donor is donating, so NPSP also will tell us like, hey, this guy is recurring donor, so we can approach it. So this kind of features are there. Okay, what is an affiliation? Can you explain?
So affiliation is nothing but it's related to one particular contact through which you can approach a different person who this contact knows well. I mean, like for suppose, let me explain you with an example here. Altokk is completely new. I literally don't know about Altokk. So one of my friend who is a common friend of Roshan told me about Altokk. We spoke to each other. I mean, he introduced me to Roshan, and we spoke to each other. So this alumni is nothing but what kind of things this contact will be having. Like a contact can be an employee in an organization or a particular college pass out, or he may be an alumni. So this contact, this affiliation will help us to get some other contacts or to approach a different new contact.
Yeah, what you said is true. This is like connections in LinkedIn, right? So one
Yes,
person connects to
exactly.
other, that person connects to other.
Yes, exactly.
So we'll
Yes.
understand. So we'll understand from
Yeah,
the
it's
person.
like in Facebook, we get suggestions like this person is from your same college, or this person works for the same organization, the same similar to that. So it's like grouping of people at one place. So this relationship is nothing but there will be a multiple contacts in an org. So this is like if for suppose all my family members are donors for a particular non-profit organization. So we all have been enrolled in the same organization as donors. So then to relate one to another, like my father may be a member in this. I mean, may be a contact for this non-profit organization. So this relation through these relationships, they will identify. Who is my? I mean, what relationship is between me and my father? I mean, example. Generally, we save the contacts through names, right? So this relationship establishes a relationship between, or how they are related to one another. They might be friends, family members, or colleagues. It can be anything. A relationship.
Yeah, that's true. So this technology also is straightforward like relationship. So we can identify who's related to whom, and we'll know whether the family member, same immediate family member, has participated or given the donation, or any other member who's related to them has given the donation. We'll understand the relationships with this relationships entity, right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
yeah, this is one of them. Yeah,
This
go ahead.
relationship and affiliation will help us identify how few contacts can be under one account. In a sales app, we have different contacts for one account, one particular account. Like one can be a manager, one can be a zonal head, one can be different, basing on different roles.
These all helps us to maintain this donor management or donation management, whatever.
Yes.
So we'll know who can donate, which affiliate we can approach, all these things. So this is mainly done for that process, right, Rupesh?
Yeah. Yes. Exactly. So this is account model in non-profit cloud. So previously, the NPSP used to have one-to-one account type, and this a contact will be whenever a contact is created, a ghost account will be created. We cannot see that account. For suppose a contact with the name Jane Smith is created, then there will be a ghost account created automatically, and we don't see this account. We just only refer to this contact, and whenever he makes some donation or something, it becomes an opportunity in this one-to-one account model. No, I mean, we cannot establish any relationship between any two contacts.
Okay, if you are done, this is just an object model. So for different kinds of, you can say different kinds of record type or different kinds of people one-to-one, individual, household. So I think this explains that.
So this individual is also an account will be created, and then contacts will be created individually, and this opportunity will be linked to this particular account, no matter who the donor is, for individual account model. And household, all the contacts of a particular account are related to one particular account, depending on certain criteria like last name, something like that. So, and every opportunity created will be linked to this particular account.
To explain further, so these all interlinked, right? So
Yes.
individual comes from one-to-one, and household comes from individual. Okay, I hope everyone understood this.
Are there any questions about account model?
When you say household itself is an account here?
Yes, household is a type of account. Simply
It's
to
a
say
type
it's
of
type of account. And it's not exactly the type of account. We can treat it as a type of account.
So when you say type, are you saying it's a record type?
This is different. Account model is different from record type.
See,
Well, I didn't get the whole model, account model. I mean, you have said that on one-to-one we don't have a relationship or the objective.
Yes. I mean, we cannot relate. I mean, if two members in the same family donates, so there is no track of that.
So this is the account model which is followed earlier, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Did your question get clear, Naveen?
so when you say demo, are you showing us something which you've implemented, or is it more like a setup?
It's like setup, Roshan. Just, I mean, hovering up, taking you
Can
through
we
the
see
all.
the links or the contacts or relationship that you talked about in working?
Yeah.
Examples?
Yes.
Then
So,
So I'll explain a use case before Rupesh show the object model and others
maybe that will help.
look like.
Let's
Yeah.
use.
So we worked on a use case. It's like a church where they wanted to collect the donation. So they are using NPSP and they wanted to implement sites because they wanted to give. They can't give portal because limited licenses will be there. So they want a public site where everyone can access and request for the donation. Even a donor will request for the donation. So we suggested them. We have given a solution. We have done a small POC, but yeah, it's very small. So initially, a donor can visit the site, which is again hosted on the website of the church. Church, not church, I think it's a charity. So non-profit charity. So a donor will come to the site and he will initiate the payment. The payment is again from the third party, where the payment, once the payment happens, the confirmation will be sent to the NPS in the same page. So I didn't remember which payment gateway, but it starts with B something, do something. So then once the payment is done, so in the Salesforce, an account, if the customer is a return customer with some criteria, we're checking whether the donor is existing or not. If the donor is existing, we are updating. We suggest them to update the same record with the donation details. If not, we wanted to create a new account and then save the donation details. And also, we suggested them like the system will suggest. There are some inbuilt codes in NPSP where the system will suggest that this donor can donate again because it's his anniversary or it's his birthday. So all those features were also we suggested them. So that's what I remember. Can you add anything, Roshan?
Yeah, I'll slightly change. So to put it in the easiest context, a lot of people might have seen Facebook and Instagram ads where you see a picture, Mila or Keto, a lot of these where you see non-profits showing up some images, requesting funds. So it's that kind of an organization you can imagine. Or there, on click of those ads or whatever that is, it will take you to a page where you fill in your details. That's kind of a lead collection here. You fill in certain details and it as an integration with some payment gateway which Bala is talking about. And then all the details, the management of that entire fund and those. So if I talk about Milap here, most of you would have seen that ad, right? Milap or Keto. I'm assuming they're small kids or those things, images, or they put up the medical report. So the entire management is where NPSP can be used to say, okay, these are my funds, these are my donors, these are the people who need it, and then if you see once you donate, they again start sending emails to you with any similar kind of a need that they might have for another kid or similar kind of charity. So this entire managing is what your NPSP is actually doing here. If the question is what is even NPSP doing, that's what it is doing. It's managing a non-profit doing those charity work. It could be for any kind of charity, and that's where Salesforce is, I'm going to give you a product which can help you manage it, and you have to prove to them that you're not doing only business, but it's actually a charitable trust that you're running. And all that, if you relate to what was discussed in the last 20-30 minutes, is relating to that. Okay, who are those contacts? What are they? How are they related to each other? About them, and then account models. I'm not sure how exactly or they're different, but that's something which I look forward to. But I hope this gives you all a context of where NPSP comes into the picture and what is it even doing in the first place. Again, payment integration is an optional thing. You can say it could be just sending out these emails. So all those social media things. Imagine you're sending out those emails from your NPSP package itself and saying, okay, I want this. Please, can you do this, Anish? So integration is a secondary point, is an optional point, but it's the management of those funds and the entire charitable work that they're doing, which is possible using this non-profit success fund. I hope that gives some more context. Go ahead, Rupesh.
Yeah.
Bala, that's all I remember actually. It was for a US entity that we were doing. So it was a more of a religious entity, but yeah, that was used.
So generally, for to do any modifications, we generally use this setup for any of them for sales app or service app. If you want to add, change anything about NPSP apart from object creation, field creations, nothing can be. Apart from general customizations like creating users, new objects, new fields, and managing the company settings. Those can be done from this setup page itself, from this page itself. To set the account model and all those, we need to search for this NPSP settings in the app exchange. So here we can see NPSP settings, NPSP data imports, data import batches. Right, these are not readily available in the setup. We need to go to this to change certain things in NPSP. So these are few things which we can customize, like let's go to account model. So here is the account model. So non-profit success pack supports 3 different kinds of model. One is household, the other one is one-to-one, and the other one is individual or bucket account. So here we'll select the account model type. See, if you can see, there is a drop down. It's generally set to household account type. Depending on the business requirement, we'll set this to one-to-one or individual. Like the account model type used by the non-profit success pack, this option controls what happens when you create a contact with a blank account field value. Warning: you should not use the account model record type you select as a default account record type for any profile. And you can see here there is a record type, household account record type. Here also you can manage these household account or organization or a master.
So that's like the parent-child relationship when you say master and organization?
No, that's different. This is record type. Previously, Roshan was saying about
Personal and business.
person account and business account, right? So that comes here. Like it can be a household account or it can be an organization. Like if an individual person donates, or a family donates, it comes under a household account. For suppose if an organization like our organization is donating certain amount every year to certain NGOs, so then we use organization record type. So this is set one-to-one record type is set up to none because we are using this account model as household account. So this will be set instead of this one. If we set this to one-to-one, then we can select this as household.
Rupesh, by any chance, do you know the difference between household and organization?
Through the research I have done, as far as I know, household is like a group of individual accounts,
Okay.
with individual contacts, and the organization is like altokk. It can be altokk.
Let's say household. It's more of saying then the relationship comes into picture. Saying okay, then you have Rupesh's brother or Rupesh's friend or colleague, and then you'll keep building a relationship and add more contacts. And you see this the model I'm following is household.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes.
And if it's organization, you just say it's a company.
Company. Yes.
If it's one-to-one, then you say okay, you don't expect people to be related to each other. You just target or expect people donors in their individual capacity, and you don't bother about maintaining Rupesh's relationship with Roshan or Roshan's relationship with Roshan. Correct?
Yes, Roshan. Exactly.
Okay, so that makes some sense.
Rupesh, in account model,
Yes.
you have one-to-one and individual separate, right?
Yes.
So what is the major difference between those two?
The major difference is a ghost account will be created for every one-to-one account.
No, but I don't think it is ghost account, right? If you see there,
Yes.
imaginary line is after account, right? Not before account.
This imaginary line is like this contact related. I mean, this contact has a different account and he is donating the amount. This is not. I mean, here it's basing on Smith household. This is not an object. This object is. I mean, this is not a account. This is a separate object. Previously, it was. I mean, this is used to relate two different contacts.
Okay.
This is not account. Household is not account. It's a different object previously.
That is what I'm talking about. When you said ghost account, right?
Yes.
From Jane Smith to Jane Smith, there's an account created. Why is it called ghost account?
Because we won't able to see that account. An account will be created, but we don't have any access or we don't see that account. It's just invisible.
So is that the only difference between one-to-one and individual?
Yes. It's like here there will be a household where you can relate all these. I mean, some relative contacts. And the difference between one-to-one and individual is for every contact there will be an account created. For individuals, there can be a common account for multiple contacts.
And multiple households as well.
Yes, multiple households as well.
And when you say household, you have all the contacts linked to an account, and yeah, that's it. There's no household anymore.
Yes. A household itself is an account. I mean, they just.
So, what is the point of having a different account model for one-to-one and individual?
So that I think we'll need more domain knowledge of how non-profits actually function.
Let me be clear here. So here one-to-one is like my family. Okay.
Yeah. Go on.
This household objects represents my family. Okay. This one-to-one, this is me and this is my brother. Let's suppose this is Rupesh and this is Chandu. Okay. We are related to only one household, but yet we have two different accounts. One is Rupesh, one is Chandu. Okay. So if Chandu makes a donation, then this opportunity will be linked to account. I mean, this account, Chandu's account. Obviously, it will be linked to Chandu's contact. So there won't be any linkage between this opportunity and this household object or this opportunity and Rupesh account. Okay. In this individuals, let's take me. I'm not married, but let's consider I'll take my spouse family. So this is one household which is mine. This is the another household, my spouse. Okay. So let Rupesh, Chandu, Sushmita, and Srinu. Okay. So they all have one common account with two different household objects, but any donation which is made will be linked to this account. When any opportunity or any donation made through these four accounts will be an opportunity which will be linked to this particular account. In a household account model type, there won't be any different or particular object for household. Account itself is considered as a household object, which can have multiple contacts and multiple opportunities. It doesn't say that it doesn't have multiple opportunities here. It do have, but it is a little difficult in relating these contacts and accounts in this individual.
Yes. So just to make my understanding clear, in the household account model,
yes,
what you're saying is every time a contact donates money into the system, a different opportunity gets created and you can relate that opportunity to that particular contact.
Yes.
But in the individual
Contact
one,
and account.
in the contact and account, sorry. But in the individual and the one-to-ones, the relationship cannot be established between that opportunity and the contact who was donated.
See, if someone is making a donation from my family, it comes under my family name, right? So here the thing is, this is family name. Okay, household is a family name. So if I make a contact, I mean, if in the one-to-one, if I make a donation, and this opportunity will be related to this account. I mean, sorry, this account, which in turn related to contact, but not related to household. I mean, it's difficult to generate a report. How much donation do we get this from? I mean, do we have from this particular household?
Okay.
It's not related in this. Opportunity is not related to household. See, if for suppose me and my spouse are donating some, I have donated some 1 lakh and my spouse has donated something around 20,000.
Okay.
So the combined donation will be 1,20,000, right? So it can be linked here and here as well, but not in here.
So the one-to-one is basically like a secret donation kind of a thing.
It's not secret kind of donation because it's one to one is such a we can say in a business case like where we approach individuals, not a family, or it's not a if you have a recurring donation or something like that, then one to one is not helpful in that case.
Okay, got it.
I mean, recurring
Just like
means
those one-time
see,
donators.
yeah, one-time donators. Then one-to-one is very much helpful, but not in recurring. Like every year, I'll be donating some 1 lakh to certain NGO, I mean, or non-profit organization. In that case, individual or household can be helpful.
Can be used. Okay.
Yeah. When it comes to households, so this is like normal settings, like how the last name should be. I mean, should be shown on the screen, or how the salutations should be, how a formal greeting should be, or how an informal greeting should be there. So suppose if we are mailing someone, we if he is if he is close to me, I'll just refer to hi, hi Prashant or hi Srinivas, like that. If it is a formal greeting, I'll be saying that Mr. Prashant with his surname or Mr. Srinivas with his surname. So this is household name format. I mean, household name format is nothing but on which format, either from full name or last name, which you want to pick. Like in a certain countries like in India, we prefer surname to be first and then becomes the first name, right? Our actual name will be writing it after the surname. So in that case, we can switch this to first name. First name, last name as household, or first name as household, last name as family. And the same with we can set these first name and last name, salutation with first name and last name. And if we want to specify something others, we can specify others as well. Like we can have a customization like we can just write, can remove them this last name here, and we can just only use salutation Mr. or Mrs. or Miss and the first name. And this name connector, this is nothing but we generally, household is nothing but a collection of contacts, right? So whenever we are referring to an household, it's like it's simple. Like when we invite someone with an when we post an invitation card, it will write just like Mr. Rupesh and family, or Mr. Rupesh and so, like that. Yeah. So this name connector is just does the same functionality here. Like it just used to separate two different names or a set of names. And this name overruns is like Rupesh and friends, or Rupesh and family, or Rupesh and colleagues. We can use anything. I mean, we can write use this as the extension, or replace the long text like. For suppose a household has more than 10 or some 10 contacts. So whenever they send an invitation or something like that, they cannot say specify each and every contact name, right? So instead of, they'll just write one name and says and friends or family, that, like that. Contact overrun count is like how many contact names should be specified in a household names for greetings. Like here we can use 9. It is auto set to 9, but the default value is 2. Next comes relationships. These are affiliations. So when selected this option, tells Salesforce to create update affiliations for contacts connected to organization accounts whenever the contacts account field or primary affiliation field changes. So I told you, right, and I previously explained that if I'm related to someone, someone can approach me using certain affiliations like alumni, or if I work in the same organization, somewhat like that. So this checkbox we can, when- if we check this box, then the automatic affiliation management will be enabled. If we uncheck this will be disabling it. So here relationships. So these are just relationship settings, reciprocal method. We use list settings or value inversion. Gender fields like we have level, languages, gender, giving level, previous giving levels. Let me go to accounts, I mean contacts. Let me create a new contact. So I'm creating a contact here. Save. So if you see here, I didn't create any account here, but there is a account created on my last name.
Yeah.
So I just only created a contact, but there is an automation that creates an account with my surname. That's it, Roshan.
So Rupesh, don't forget to send that link to them.
Yeah, sure.
And Sneha, if you still can, maybe we can. How many questions do we have today, Rupesh? How many questions?
10 questions.
We have
Yeah, then
9 because one had too many characters. It was not accepting as option, so I
Okay.
had to delete that.
then let's go ahead with India. So yeah, let's get started.
I started that.
That's pointers.
So question is, what are primary structural elements of NPSP data model?
Yes. What are the primary structural elements of NPSP data model?
First question is the bounce cloud.
ఏంటది ఆప్షన్ లేదు అసలు
It's a late system waste. Not the answer, is it? Only one.
ఒక కరెక్ట్ ఎవరు పెట్టారు?
Rupesh, maybe you can explain.
What is this question and answer?
డెఫినెట్లీ నీడ్స్ ఎక్స్ప్లెనేషన్
Rupesh is Rupesh. We need a question.
కాపీ పేస్ట్ అంటే ట్రైల్ హెడ్ లోది.
అదే
లేదు, బేసిక్ డేటా మోడల్ లో బేసిక్ ఇప్పుడు నేను స్టార్టింగ్ లో చెప్పా యాప్స్ ఎక్స్టెన్షన్ అని చెప్పి NPSP.
ఓకే ఎట్లా ఉంటుంది?
అన్ని ఇలానే ఉన్నాయి. ఏంటి ఆ క్వశ్చన్ అర్థం అవ్వలే నాకు. డొనేషన్స్ పెట్టాం కాదు కదా.
నేను కూడా అదే పెట్టా.
Session మొత్తం donation గురించి చెప్తారు.
You already had this custom standard up, and then you had to go to a lot of custom apps to get the data model setups available. You're showing us in the Apex app list. So I think that's what it means. Answer, but go ahead. Yeah, next one.
Oh my god. Super.
Multi-select.
Of the following account models are available in NPS.
Dude, క్వశ్చన్ అయినా చూపి dude.
నాకు ఇంకా ఆప్షన్స్ రాలేదు నాకు ఎవరో
మంచిదే కదా.
అప్పుడు మీరు టైం ఇవ్వలేదు.
ఈ క్వశ్చన్ చూసి ఆర్డర్ పెట్టి బ్యాక్ వచ్చి నా క్వశ్చన్ చూపిస్తాను.
But you got it right.
Oh, I think this is pretty clear. We were discussing about all.
It's easy one. That's why I went.
Very easy one.
Okay, I'm going to the next question. Yeah, Raji.
రాజ్
Oh.
స్టార్ట్ చేశారు.
Silent killer, Raji.
Silent icon. Next.
How many licenses are available for free?
Oh my god. Random this.
ఇది ఇంకా
ఫాస్టెస్ట్ ఇది కూడా ఫాస్టెస్ట్ ఫింగర్ ఫస్ట్ ఎవరు వచ్చింటారు?
చూడు అది స్లైడ్ లో ఉందా ఇది?
స్లైడ్ లో లేదు, నేను చెప్పా.
But
Right,
somewhere
right,
చెప్తావా?
you have answered. Oh,
Naveen
Naveen.
silent. నేను వెనకాల కష్టం.
NPS.
Previously gone as
I know this.
చెప్పాడు.
సో నేను రాంగ్ పెట్టేసాను.
అయ్యో.
నేను కూడా రామ్. అదే ప్రాఫిటబుల్.
Rupesh explain చేసినప్పుడు నాన్ ప్రాఫిట్ సక్సెస్ ప్యాక్ కదా ఇప్పుడు. I know the question, so I was
The
thinking
answer
okay.
is good here, but yellow and green. I also voted for yellow because non-profit. I looked at starter pack. I didn't.
Yeah, same.
Everybody looked at the second part. What is this? The next level.
Yeah, Balaga.
Only he got it right.
Yeah, what we got.
Everything else.
నాకు కరెక్ట్ వచ్చింది.
Okay, next question. Multi select.
One is name connector is used for. One is name connector. అలా
I got it.
ఈజీగా కొడుతున్నాడు.
Session illadu.
Sorry, question only name connector is used, not one is.
నేను ఇది మాత్రం ఇలా పెట్టాను, ఆన్సర్ కనిపించలేదు.
నేను పెట్టలేదు వెళ్ళిపోయింది.
పెట్టిన పని కరెక్ట్.
టైం సెవెన్ పెట్టాక తీసుకోండి.
నేను
నేను కూడా కట్టా.
Balaga is still leading. 4 questions in a row.
తప్పది.
అయినా కూడా తప్పదు.
Next question. Default contact overrun count is.
Dude,
ఓ దొరికేసాం.
నంబర్ సైడ్ డిఫాల్ట్ కాంటాక్ట్ ఓవర్ రా. ఏది పెడదాం? కలర్
నేనైతే నా ఫేవరెట్ కలర్
I went for blue.
I also went for blue.
ఇంతసేపు పడుతుంటే గ్యారెంటీ రాంగ్.
Incorrect.
నేను చెప్తా కాంటాక్ట్ ఓవర్ అండ్ కౌంట్ 2 ఉంటది డిఫాల్ట్ అని చెప్తా.
క్వశ్చన్ ఏంటి, న్యూమరిక్స్ ఏంటి?
Oh, nobody got
అలా ఏం
it right.
చెప్పారు పైన
huh?
ఉన్నాడు.
Okay.
నేను రాంగ్ పెట్టాను.
I can't win from here. India position.
I believe in you. Last list.
Okay, next question.
Multi
మళ్ళీ మల్టీ సెలెక్ట్.
Leaf calendar.
Leaf calendar.
ఏంటి
You have time for this 30 seconds.
ఈసారి నన్ను ఎవరో ఒకరు దాటేస్తారు అనుకున్నా.
ఆన్సర్ కూడా గట్టి చదవండి.
రెండా మూడా
ఏంటి 3 ఆప్షన్స్ ఉన్నాయి ఇంట్లో, రెండే పెట్టా.
2 out of 3 correct.
ఈ కరెక్ట్ అని తెలుసా?
అమ్మా I got it.
అమ్మయ్య. I also got it right.
నాకు తెలిసి నన్ను ఇంకెవరు ఓడించలేరేమో.
అయిపోయింది, మీరు పాకిస్తాన్ వెళ్ళిపోయారు. 5 out of 5.
ఇందులో
Yeah.
Super.
Roshan is highest climber.
Yes, climber. But he's not on the leaderboard.
My name came up somewhere on the board.
Okay.
Rupesh,
How many person account portal users can a sales user own?
Oh my god.
ఓ
ఫస్ట్ నాకు పోర్టల్
what తెలుసు? Rupesh అసలు చెప్పావు ఇది? Actually,
This is generic Salesforce.
రూపేష్ హింట్ ప్లీజ్, హింట్.
Color please.
నేను ఇంకా 10 అనుకుంటే 10. అబ్బా ఇష్టపడా.
ఇది కూడా రాంగ్.
నేను చెప్తే పెట్టుంటే
పైకి వచ్చేవాడు.
వచ్చేవాడిని.
అసలు వాళ్ళగానే ఇంకెవరు రీచవలేరు. లాస్ట్ క్వశ్చన్.
వాళ్ళని reach అవ్వాలి.
ఇది నేను ఆన్సర్ చేయమని పర్లేదు.
This is about Rupesh, so and it has points, so please.
అబౌట్ రూపేష్ ఎక్కడ ఉన్నాడు?
About Rupesh.
Multi-select.
Who among following are graduated from the same institution where Rupesh has done?
ఒకళ్ళు తెలుసు.
ఒసామా బిన్ లాడెనా? చెప్పాడు.
ప్రవీణ్ గారు.
నాకు తెలుసు.
ప్రవీణ్ గారు.
ప్రవీణ్ ఎవరు?
I mean, our one.
ప్రవీణ్ తెలుసు. ప్రవీణ్ ఎవరు?
ప్రవీణ్ తెలియదు నాకు కూడా.
నాకు తెలుసుగా, నాకు తెలుసుగా.
ఈ ముగ్గురు క్లాస్మేట్స్ కదా, అదే 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 ఏంటంటే
ఏంటి వీళ్ళు ముగ్గురు సేమ్ ఇన్స్టిట్యూషన్ చెప్పారు కాబట్టి
మన ముగ్గురు సేమ్ ఇన్స్టిట్యూషన్, సేమ్ క్లాస్మేట్స్.
Rupesh is the junior.
Okay, let's
ఇది ఎవరు తెలియని విషయం.
ప్రవీణ్ ఎవరు ఇంతకీ? నాకు తెలియదు.
యాక్చువల్గా నాకు తెలియదు. నేను పేరు చూసి రూపేష్
see.
తెలియాల్సిన అవసరం లేదు. వాళ్ళు ముగ్గురు ఎవరున్నారంటే
ఎట్లా నేను గెలిచాను. ఎవరు అన్నారు?
చేస్తారా?
రాజీనా ఎవరు అన్నారు కదా, నెట్వర్క్ బాగోకపోయినా.
శ్రీనివాస్ అలానే చేశారు.
Very tough Rupesh. I think
Okay, then I'm dropping off, guys.
yeah, Sneha, thank you so much.
Yeah.